Hey, everybody. Happy Friday night. What y'all doing? I know what you're doing. You're here to see me. Forgot to put my earrings on. How are you guys doing? What you working on? Oh, man. Come on now. My fingernails are entirely too long. We really need some trimming. And that is going to happen tomorrow. Yeah, they ain't going in. I can't get them. Sorry, y'all. Just forget it. No knife earrings tonight. Oh, Rosie is here. Tammy, Jeannie, Nisi, Freehandley, Chels. Happy Friday, Chels. Happy Friday, everyone. Joan is here. Hope Mahoney. Good to see you. Denny Beneni. Hey, Lorna. Hi, Mary. Good Good to see you all. Staying warm, working on prayer couch Afghan still, but making progress. Awesome. Awesome. Yes. Oh, you're looking forward to this one? I don't know, Denny. We're going to do some talking, but just so you guys know that I have decided on this particular case that I'm not going to sit down and just go through and give you like, you know, day by day or take tons of notes and like do all that stuff. I'm just not doing it. There's so much to this case. We've covered a lot of it and we can talk about lots of things. Okay. We can talk through a lot of this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk through a lot of it. Oh, you're going to make bread? Ah, I like making bread. I really do. Did you get some egg replacer, Joan? Hey, Sharon. Good to see you. Hello, Annie. Glad you're here. Glad you are all here. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather again tonight. Pushing forward. Tonight I haven't know if I've shown you guys this one. Um this is the Ohio Cup. Now there's a reason why I have the Ohio Cup. It's a little bit different than some of the others. I actually traded cups with Honeybee Knits when I was ordering from her, and she had a podcast, and she was collecting the I Am Here cups from different states, and she said she would send Ohio cups if you would send the cup from your state. So I sent her a Texas one, and she sent me an Ohio one. I'm having a hot toddy. So it has a little whiskey in it for my throat. And this is cinnamon and apple. It's a very nice mug. I like these mugs a lot. They're a nice size. They have a good feel to them. And I'm real funny about the rim of a cup. I don't like them to be really thick. That bugs me. I feel like I'm dribbling, you know? So I like the way that these feel. So I actually still have a good hour and a half left of today's testimony. When I left off, it was the ballistics today and Mr. Greer, who I think should be running the show, y'all. Mr. Greer is the shit, okay? Mr. Greer has got it together, and he is the ballistics expert that they have, and I really like him. Yep. He is great. I think that prosecution today, the prosecution was winning. It's been doubtful. It's been doubtful, y'all, but today they were winning. So today they put forth the evidence that the bullets that they recovered around the house, down at the shooting range, and the bullets that were recovered from the crime scene, all of those bullets, well, I'm not saying all of them, but most of those bullets matched, saying that they were fired from the same gun. Now, he was not able to say 100% that they would have been fired by guns that were in the room. He said it was inconclusive. It was inconclusive that he could not say it was those guns, but he said it was also possible that it was those guns and something like those guns. Yeah. I feel a little more hopeful of that today. I really do. I feel a little more hopeful that they're going to that they also had a lot of financial stuff today. So they reported all of these, yesterday they had a gal on, man, I wish they'd bring her back. I'm really disappointed that a lot of the testimony that we saw, for the financial stuff was not before the jury. So they're holding a hearing on that testimony at the same time as they're running the trial. This is not unusual, you guys. They do this all the time. I just, man, the way they were talking, if I feel like if the jury heard that, and did you guys notice the family wasn't in the room for the financial stuff? A lot of the family left out when the jury was not there. Yeah, the woman from his firm, I can't pronounce her name, but she was very good. I hope she gets to testify in front of the jury. That's what I hope. So I've had a little resurgence of some of my symptoms, and I got to thinking, rookie move, y'all. A rookie move. I did not replace my toothbrush after having the flu. So now I need a new toothbrush. Hey, Barbara. Good to see you. I don't know, but it makes you wonder, why would they not be there when the jury was out? If they're there for him, if they're there for Alex, if they're there for to support Alec, you would think they'd be there, but they weren't. Not when the jury's not there. Now, there a couple of, like, I think I saw his brother there, and I think I saw somebody else there, but I don't know all of the faces of all of the family. There may have been 1 or 2 in there, but, on the first day when they started to show some of the financial stuff, there was some of the family that walked out. Walked out. Okay. What does that mean? Y'all just done? Yeah, you got well, huh. I don't know that they did because, well, Buster did. You gotta say that Buster did at some point because this has been going on for years. So, Buster, Paul, and Maggie had some benefit from all of it because it had been going on from that what they're saying from, like, somewhere in the early 2000s, like 2008, 2009, somewhere around in there, and I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, I mean, they had benefit from it. Of course they did. Now, beyond the immediate family, I don't know. I'm thinking the brother did because he's in the firm. Yeah, okay, so you think that's what's going on, Annie? You think that Alex's demeanor because I'm like, "What, did they give him a chill pill, tell him to sit down and shut up?" Because he hasn't moved. Chewing gum, chewing the candy, reaching over, talking to this one, reaching over, talking to that one, and then just looking. Absolutely no emotion, absolutely flat, 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 flat. And he's actually been that way this afternoon when they brought in some of the witnesses, he was that way as well. So, maybe he knows his goose is cooked here, at least with this financial stuff. Yeah, he did, he stole from his own brother. Yep, that's true. Hi, Karen, glad you're here. Woo woo, Karen's here, y'all. Don't mind me, I sound like crap. I felt like he was scowling at Greer. I think he was scowling at a couple of different ones. Yeah, it does make sense that that's what he's doing. Okay, let's talk about some of the stuff. First of all, y'all, I want to also tell you how I'm doing on my cowl that I'm doing in honor of Stephen Smith. Okay. Y'all have not seen it since I worked on it last. And now I can move my progress keeper up. The last time you saw it was down here. I've got a progress keeper right here. Right down here. This is where you saw it last. I did quite a bit. Now I'm up here. And I've started this next color. And I want to see if I can get it where you guys can see, maybe see the patterning on here. Can y'all see the flame in there now? There, I think you can right there. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I'm moving along on it now. But I can't work on this when I'm talking to y'all because, it is a little too much concentration for this lace work. So now I'm going to move my progress keeper up here. And this progress keeper is a wooden set that I got, I think, from Hobby Lobby. And it has on here, it's got a 6 because that's what the size needle I'm using. I know I got my brain on track but I had to put it away because I was working on some other stuff. I started my February project with Mr. Fiber and some other things. But I wanted to be sure and show you guys my progress. Yep, the bookkeeper was just unfazed. She was unfazed. Ah, you do. You think he's arrogant and he's going to get away with it. We shall see. The jury is not seeing this stuff right that we're seeing right now. They're only seeing parts of it. So, okay, I want to talk to y'all a little bit about some of what did come out this week. We got to see the video, y'all. The video, the Snapchat video. We got to see it. And I'm here to tell you about the Snapchat video that, quite honestly, I'm not sure. I hear the voices. I hear Paul's voice, and I hear Maggie's voice, and I hear another voice, okay? However, it did not sound I need to listen to it with earbuds in. But I don't know Alec's voice enough, I guess, to say, "Oh, yeah, that was Alec." However, there was a young man that they put on the stand, and he was someone that spent a lot of time there. And he was someone who they treated as kinda like a surrogate son. Let me see if I can find his name for you. Rogan. It was Rogan Gibson, and he testified that he heard Alex Murdaugh's voice in the background of a phone call and video from the night the disgraced lawyer's wife and son were killed. Gibson testified that he is 100% positive the third voice he heard with Maggie and Paul is the disbarred South Carolina attorney. 100%. Yep. Everybody is saying Everybody is saying that they think it's Alec. Now, why is that important? Because at the time that the video was taken, Alec had said that he didn't even go down to the kennels. He didn't go down there. Okay. Well, this video chat was on the night they were murdered, right before they were murdered. So there's no way he can say he wasn't there. Hello, Katie. Good to see you. So that was Rogan. And they interviewed Rogan. The SLED interviewed him, the FBI, the law enforcement, everybody interviewed him. We had testimony that they have downloaded everybody's phones. Now, talking about the Stephen Smith case, I'm wondering if they were able to get a hold of some information off of Buster and Paul's phones in relation to the Stephen Smith case, and that could be why they have reopened it. So keep that in mind. We don't know, but it's a possibility, right? And okay, so there was a Snapchat video, but there was another video also. And the other video was had happened earlier in the day. I want to say, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was like around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the day, in the afternoon, where Paul and Alec had been riding around on a four-wheeler, ATV, whatever you want to call it. And Paul took a short video where he's laughing because they had planted some trees, and these trees weren't standing up on their own like they were supposed to. And he took a video of Alec holding this tree up and then the tree falling back down. And the clothes that Alec had on at that time of the day were not the clothes he had on when he was interviewed on the night of the murders. Interesting there too. Okay. What else happened this week? So his friend that he went to high school with, then he did business with at the bank, he was so upset. So upset. He cried during his testimony. His former best friend, Chris Wilson, testified that he suspected that disgraced lawyer tried to kill himself when he was shot in the head. Murdaugh called 911 on September 4th, 2021, claiming he was shot while on the side of the road, dealing with a slashed tire. Later, Murdaugh allegedly admitted to planning the shooting with a former client, Curtis Edward Smith. Now, we know that Alec did drugs, supposedly. Supposedly did drugs with Curtis Edward Smith and did drug business with Curtis Edward Smith. And Curtis Edward Smith's name was on a lot of those fake loans that he was stealing money with. So that was another part of this week. So supposedly Paul had taken the truck and he had gone and he had spent the night at his uncle. Okay, there's Paul John David, was that his name? And that he had left the truck there and borrowed somebody else's truck. And John David, when he found out about the murders, drove Paul's truck, but it broke down. And they found it later, broke down the side of the road. I think that's the story. Yeah. And he deleted the phone calls. That was another one that came out today, was that when they got a hold of Alec's phone, he had deleted phone calls from that afternoon and evening. Yep. That was another thing that came out. Now, they don't. Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened. I think he went to his mother's and he got rid of those clothes somewhere, and that he may have even gotten cleaned up at his mother's, because if he was carrying it, carrying stuff with his hands and all that, they wouldn't have seen it. They wouldn't have seen any blood and stuff. What else? Let's see. So the ex-housekeeper's son got on the stand also today. Was it today or yesterday? I'm already confused. I think it was today. And he testified about the fact that his family thought that Alex was their lawyer, okay? And he told them he was going to take care of them, be sure to let them know anytime that they got, any bills or anything like that. But interesting in there was that Gloria Satterfield, who was the housekeeper, she actually lived for a few weeks after that. And I don't remember hearing that before. So she did not die the night that she fell down the stairs. She was unable to talk, but she was able to recognize her family and give nods and things that she knew who they were. But she could not talk. She hadn't got that back before. Speech did not come back to her before she passed away. Hello, Kimberly. How are you? Glad you're here. Well, I wonder about that, about the whole kennels and stuff, because they talked about there being water spilled down at the kennels. So I don't know. You think he hosed off? Because they did see blood that was like running in that water. But dogs will hit things. They'll bump up against stuff, and they could have sloshed water, and it could have been blood there. I don't know. But maybe they're going to come back to that. Maybe we're going to come back to the whole water thing. They did make a big deal about it. So we'll see. But I wondered the same thing. Did he just hose off down there and then go change at his mom's? I don't know. So he was not actually a suspect. You know that, right? He was not. He was a person of interest, but they did not have anything where they could definitively say that he had done anything. So that's why he was allowed to go do stuff. You think it was too much water? Yeah, could have been. Okay, what am I missing, you guys, as far as evidence? Yeah, and the housekeeper, he stole the money from them. Hey, Adon's World, good to see you. Glad you're here. How are you doing? Well, I don't know. They did they did have some testimony about a private flight. So I'm wondering if that's gonna come back, Annie, because they talked about a private flight. They said that, one of them in the money there, right? There was some transfer of money, and that one of them was for a flight to the Bahamas. They talked about that. That's very possible. Absolutely, very possible. Yeah, Maggie's phone, they did a lot of talking about Maggie's phone, and evidently now I don't know, did they say anything about Maggie's phone? Did they talk about the fact that she had been talked to, was it her sister? And she said something to her sister about, "He wants me to go to Moselle, and I think he's up to something?" Because I don't remember hearing that come out yet. Now, that was said in the Low Country HBO series, but I don't know if it has happened here. Yeah, I wondered about that too. So it was a friend. Okay, not her sister. Well, there was no fingerprint evidence so far that was definitive to be any it could not be so they found evidence on some of the guns, they found evidence on Paul's phone. They talked about that there was like some partial stuff there, but it wasn't enough that they could say definitively who it was. Yeah, her phone was found tossed on the side of the road, and we had quite a bit of stuff come out on that where the phone guy was fascinating, and I thought that it was that the phone guy came on right after I had my if you guys haven't seen it, go watch my interview with Stephen Keogh. It was on Tuesday afternoon, and we talked about his book, and it was fascinating, and he's such a wonderful, nice guy. OMG. You guys have to go watch that. And it's his favorite thing, the phone stuff, right? So I thought it was really something after I got done, I went to watch the testimony for that day, and they had the phone guy on. And I learned a lot about the iPhone stuff. It is interesting. They talked about that. They talked about, okay, was the phone tossed end over end and landed on the side of the road, or was it tossed, like, sideways? And one of the guys said, "Well, I'd go sideways." I'm like, you know, I don't know, because I didn't realize that a phone, when it lights up, you pick it up and it lights up, that registers. They know it has happened. They can see that when they download it. If you get a notification and it lights it up, they know that because it comes in at the same time as the notification. But interestingly, they also know whether it is horizontal or vertical or landscape. They know when it changes. So there was a lot of talk about whether Maggie's phone was I think the idea here is that they feel um, like Alec may have tried to pick her phone up and then he tossed it, all that kind of stuff. So I'm watching it on Law and Crime Network. I know that Court TV is also covering it. I don't know what their coverage is like because I've not watched it from there, but I am subscribed to Court TV. I know that is his name Jim Politan from Court TV? He was in the courtroom. Was that on? I think that was on Wednesday. He was in the courtroom along with Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace was at the trial too. I was like, wow. I think that was on Wednesday. Oh, thank you, Denny. Yeah, Vinny. Yep. Yep. It was Vinny. That's right. He was there. Nancy Grace was there. Hey, she had to get her face in there, I'm sure. She got a thing for Vinny. It was interesting because they did a little bit of a after court, they went to Fat Jack's restaurant, and there's people all over behind them. They're just doing their thing right there and having a conversation in there. Yes. Yeah, and when you tap it, it's the same thing, like, if it lights up because you tapped it, they know that it was a tap or it was a lift, one of the 2. They can't tell whether it was a tap or a lift. What difference does that make, right? You know, I watched her during the OJ trial, and I figured that out. I was pregnant with my 2nd daughter during the OJ trial. Terry and I figured that out the other day. I know. If she interviewed Alec, I know. That's like everybody back in the day in the '80s, back in the day in the '80s. They wanted, Barbara Walters to interview everybody because she was the best interviewer at that time. Me too. I know, me too. I'd be like, "Okay, just order something else. I wanna listen." Anything else, you guys, that you can think of that was I mean, there was a lot happened in court this week. I mean, a lot happened in court. Can we talk about the judge for a minute? At first it was like, I don't know. It's kinda I don't know about the judge. And then he started giving it back to the defense, especially the defense, okay? "Hello, Sandy, glad you're here." And I was like, "You know what? He's telling them, mm-mm, no, you're not gonna get away with this stuff." Um, when they were really upset about all of this financial stuff. Now, why do we have to sit through this? Why? You know, um, because there has already been a judgment on this financial stuff. Uh, what is it called? Judgment of guilt. I can't remember what they called it. And that's where Alec has already pled guilty to all of this financial stuff. He's already pled guilty. And his buddy, Mr. Lafitte, who was running the bank stuff, has already, I think he's already been sentenced and gone to jail for all of it. He does, I wasn't sure about that, but he does seem like he's enjoying this. He does seem like he's like, okay, let's let this play out. He seems very fair to me. You know, it was laid out early on what the motive was going to be, and that was even a whole thing, argument. And so now he knows that all of this evidence is part of that. And it was introduced because they did they from the beginning the defense said that Alex thought that Maggie and Paul were murdered in retaliation for the boat case. Okay, well, if that's what you think, then we need to bring in some evidence about the boat case. We need to bring in all the stuff that's tied to the boat case that could say differently. And that's they're doing it. And this has really bothered me, Annie, through this whole thing. It has frustrated me and bothered me through this whole thing, and that is the way that the lawyers are moving around the two tables, the two sides. Everybody's moving around. I'm like, okay, who's up? Who's up here? Which side? Because we know that we're supposed to be hearing from the prosecution. They go first. But then you got the defense over here, and the defense is entering in evidence that has not been entered in yet, and they're making it defense evidence. And I'm like, I didn't know they could even do that, first of all. And the whole thing is extremely confusing. Extremely confusing. And there's not enough objections, if you ask me. I watched the Wagner trial, and they objected every 5 minutes. And Canepa was like, really? Really? Or like Chelsea, like, seriously? and there's hardly any with this one. Hardly any of it. The defense is hardly doing any objections, and it was like the defense was running things the first part of the week. Now it feels like we're getting back to a prosecution case. Now it feels like the tide has changed a little bit. That's crazy. And that's why I can't possibly write all these notes down. Solomon's been saying that a lot lately. Seriously? Funny. A little more hot toddy. I may be going to bed soon. Tomorrow is our date day. Me and Mr. Fiber, we're supposed to go to Wichita Falls. We're kind of soap opera. Okay, but we do, okay. And it is real life. So I get it. I get it. However, I do feel bad. I feel bad for Maggie's family. And I feel bad for the Murdaugh family. They lost a grandson. And Maggie's family lost a daughter and an aunt and all of those things. I feel bad for the families that lost these people. It's really sad. It's really sad. So I really do feel for them. And I do, in a way, I thought Paul needed to have his day in court. I didn't think he needed to be murdered. Okay. Regardless of how how many horrible things that Paul did with the boat case and everything. He didn't deserve to be murdered. That's wrong. I do not at this time know how I feel about Buster. I don't know how I feel about Buster. There was a couple of answers for in relation to Buster. Number 1, we all wanted to know why he was at that lawyers meeting. He's going to school to be a lawyer. So that's why he was at that bar, BAR as in the bar, not a bar. He was at a bar association meeting with Alec. Now we know why, because he's going to school to be a lawyer. And the other thing was everyone wanted to know where Buster was on the night that happened. And it is confirmed that Buster was not anywhere around. He was in Rock Hill. So, yeah, Buster is not totally guilt-free. Let's put it that way. However, I don't know if I told you guys. I see it, Nisi. In June, okay. You know, they removed Maggie and Buster from the boat case, from the settlement on the not the settlement, but the lawsuit that the family of Mallory Beach had against the estate. They removed Maggie and Buster from any responsibility. They're still suing Alec and through the estate. So, anyway. When did that happen? When did that happen, Lorda? I didn't hear about that. See, he's not totally innocent, you guys. Do you know when that happened or where you might have seen that? I had not seen that yet. That's interesting. The shenanigans continue with him. My goodness. So it continues to be quite the ordeal, this thing. Now, I don't know how long it's going to last. We just have to wait and see. This is the second week, and we'll see what happens next week. Okay, that may have been, was that in the Low Country story? Because I missed that if it was. I really need to go back and listen, but it gets me that this Jim, the lawyer for Alec, is in the Low Country story, and he's defending Alec. And I don't know, there's a whole lot of stuff that is like a conflict of interest for me. A whole lot of it. I know that the lawyer for Gloria Satterfield has a lot to say. If you watch the law and crime stuff from today, at some point this afternoon, he was on with Anjanette Levy. And you guys, if you want a breakdown day by day, go see Gigi. And that is Pretty Lies and Alibis. She has both a podcast and a YouTube channel under that name. And you can either listen to it on your phone or whatever, or you can go watch on the YouTube channel. And she's been corresponding for Law and Crime Network, and she has covered this case from way back. And it would be interesting to go back, and I haven't done it yet because I've been watching the trial, and it's like, okay, that's enough. That's enough, But she has some videos on the Murdaugh case from before she started covering it for Law and Crime. And now she's covering every single day. She's coming back and giving you a recap. And it's cool because she was in the courtroom. So, you know, it's kind of neat. So, if you want the play by play and you haven't seen the trial, you might go over and see what her take is. 3 weeks? Yeah, I don't think we're going to make that. I don't think we're going to make the 3 weeks. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, I think it's going to be at least a month. I mean, we got through a lot of stuff this week, though. Really did, including the hearings on this financial stuff. So now if this financial stuff comes in and the judge orders that this financial stuff can come in, then that'll be interesting. They're doing it on camera. So I'm guessing that because I don't know how it works, but I'm guessing that because they're doing this testimony without the jury on camera, that if it gets entered as evidence, that possibly the jury will get to see it. Anybody know? Well, hello, Lori. Oh, goodness. Okay, you guys, I think I'm done for tonight. I have been doing a lot. I'm still doing now, not going to have my February chat tomorrow. That'll be on Sunday. But I did get the video finished for the Make a Dicky Make Along. I posted a post in the Facebook group on how to get started on the Make a Dicky Make Along. And then the video that I did will come out tomorrow. And tomorrow I'm going to go have my date with Mr. Fiber. I had my hands all on here, but I never did even show you guys what was going on with my hands. Now I'm going to turn it off. I'm out of here. I'm going to go rest. Yes, everyone stay safe. Everyone, we're just going to be 70 degrees here tomorrow. So all of our cold weather is pretty well gone. We got some cool days coming, but nothing terribly, terribly cold. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, y'all. They have to retestify. Okay, well, thanks for that, because I didn't know. I don't like him. I know. Y'all are going to go, but he's so good looking. I don't like him. He's kind of creepy to me. But anyway, that's whatever. Y'all do you. It's freezing. Oh, we're warming up. We're warming up. So, yeah. Awesome. Okay, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Yay, we did it. Little recap night. Let's wait and see what happens next week. Love y'all. If you get some information for me on it, you're more than welcome to send it over to me, to my email. And I will talk to you guys on Sunday. Bye, everybody. Love y'all. Bye, Solomon. Bye, Oliver. I love you. See, I knew that was coming. Bunch of people think that. But anyway, okay. Have fun today. Bye, everybody.